See if I don't want to look at for. There's a lot of songs I want to sing, but I know Kathy's going to say, sing someone I know. Sing, sing one we all know. Charlie, want to get a book out? Right, Charlie? Okay. Page 131. I don't know if anybody knows this. We'll try it. The new name and glory. Everybody knows. Everybody should know this. If not, you'll know it by the time we leave. If you don't know it, we'll sing it 15 times till everybody knows the song by heart. And we'll call it so. Okay? A new name and glory. So you know this? Does anybody know this song? Okay. We'll sing a song. We won't do that one. Because nobody knows it. And nobody wants to hear me sing a solo again. Page 31. You said 131. Page 31. Everyone knows this one. Okay, you can stand and sing this one. You don't need a book for this one. Okay? A wonderful Savior of His, Jesus my Lord, a wonderful Savior to me. He hideth my soul in the cleft of the rock, where rivers of pleasure I see. He hideth my soul in the cleft of the rock, that shadows a dry, thirsty land. He hideth my life in the depths of His love, and covers me there with His hand, and covers me there with His hand. Last verse. When clothed in His brightness, transported I rise, to meet Him in clouds of the sky. His perfect salvation, His wonderful love, I'll shout with the millions on high. He hideth my soul in the cleft of the rock, that shadows a dry, thirsty land. He hideth my life in the depths of His love, and covers me there with His hand, and covers me there with His hand. Thank you. Have a seat. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. A couple things right off. Steve Parsons is going into surgery. So Rebecca mentioned just a few minutes ago. Steve Parsons on our prayer list. It's Katrina Minnie's best friend's dad, and he's going through cancer treatments, and he's going to have surgery. Just pray for him. Annette had her surgery yesterday. She's in a regular room now. She's in pain, but she's doing okay. One of the last texts we got, so she's in Morgantown at the hospital there. Patty and Bruce are going through their treatments every day, so keep them in your prayers. And soon as Annette gets better, Gary's going to have surgery on his back. A lot of people are scared to death with this coronavirus thing. A lot of people say it the right way. If you have age to you, that's like anybody that's older than me, or if you have pre-existing medical problems, if you have lung problems or something, then there's a reason to be scared, because I'm not scared of dying, but just the idea of getting sick. A lot of people don't like that idea. So pray for those who are just in panic mode. Some people just rattled by it, and not that they should. I don't know if they should be, but some people just rattled by it, and a lot of it is I think news driven, and numbers wise, it's a whole lot less people would probably die from this year than would die from the flu in the last year. So just pray for those that are fearful in this matter. Okay. Anybody else? Unspoken request? Prayer request? All right. Unspoken? Anybody else? Something else we want to pray about? Not to mention out loud. Okay. Jared, will you lead some prayer? Amen. Okay, turn to Daniel chapter 1. We'll get right into the scriptures. If you have questions, I want you to ask the questions. If you have comments, I want to hear your comments on this. Daniel chapter 1. We went through 1st and 2nd Kings. We went through 1st and 2nd Solomon. We went through the chronologically. We went through scriptures, and we'll go in the book of Daniel. But a lot of Daniel's about prophecy and God telling Israel, telling Nebuchadnezzar, telling all the world what He's going to do, which He did. He accomplished all those things except for one, really, as far as what's written in the book of Daniel. But I want to set the stage for this, and I want to tell you about these people just a little bit. Okay, Daniel chapter 1. Everybody got it? Everybody got it? Okay, Daniel chapter 1. Now look up this way. Okay, the children of Israel, when they lived in Israel, and mainly we'll mention Daniel and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They lived in Jerusalem, and they were carried away when their king and their nation disobeyed God. They were carried away to Babylon by Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. And they were carried away to, looking at the map, they were carried eastward, several hundred miles away, and they were placed there in a certain place. So we'll go to not to the prophecy part of Daniel, but just in the first chapter. We're going to look at a couple things. Okay, in the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, into Jerusalem and besieged it. That means they set up encampment around the city until there was no food left, and the people finally gave up. Okay, the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand with part of the vessels of the house of God, which he carried into the land of Shinar, in the house of his God, and he brought the vessels into the treasury house of his God. So the things that were in the temple in Jerusalem are now in Babylon. Okay, and the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of the eunuchs, is where we'll get to, and that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children of whom there was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning and knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability and understand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning of the tongue of the Chaldeans. Stop reading right there. This is what they did. And Nebuchadnezzar did this, and not just in Jerusalem, he did this in other places. As he go in and conquer a land, he said, I want the best people in this land, grab some young men, and I will take them into, we're going to say it like a college. We're going to stay there for 3 years. We're going to feed them. We're going to teach them. We want the best and brightest of each country to come in to be leaders. They're eventually going to be leaders in my kingdom. Nebuchadnezzar is a pretty smart man by doing this. He said, I want the smartest ones you have to come over here and learn my language and learn from my scholars, and then see what they can come up with on their own. It's kind of like America has kind of done this by going around the world for the last 100 years and inviting the smartest people from India to come here and work, and the smartest people from different countries to come over here and work. And they make a lot more money here than they would anywhere else, but they come here and go to our schools and learn things, and then a lot of them start businesses or start developing something that nobody else has developed before, new technology stuff. Okay, so it's pretty smart for Nebuchadnezzar to do that 3,000 years ago. Okay, so caught up in this and that were 4 young men. We'll list them. Okay, but then the king appointed them daily provision, verse 5, and the king's meat, and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, that at the end thereof they might stand before the king. That these men are supposed to be leaders eventually after 3 years. Now among these were the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names. For he gave unto Daniel the name of Belteshazzar, and to Hananiah Shadrach, and to Mishael Meshach, and unto Azariah Abednego. Or, as my friend the preacher, black preacher said, that last one he calls a bad Negro. I don't know if we said it that way, but yeah. Okay, a friend of mine said, a black preacher said it. Okay, so of all the people of Jerusalem that they bring up, they probably put a bunch of them in the college thing, the best and the brightest of the land, but there's 4 of them that are singled out that are different than everybody else. Okay. And the king says, you're going to eat the same meat that I have. You're going to drink the same wine that I have. You're going to have the same diet. You're going to have a great place to live. It's probably better than anything you ever had in your life. And you're going to have it. You're going to have it well. And Daniel says, we can't eat what you're eating. What would a king eat? I don't think a king would eat lobster.
It'd be like lobster. It'd be like shellfish. It'd be like shellfish. I like shellfish. It'd be like shrimp. Okay, okay. It'd be like pork. Think kings would eat pork? I think if I was a king, I'd want pork every day. Okay, you know those are things that the Jews couldn't eat. Okay, certain birds that other people birds of prey, which might be good eating birds, but the Jews weren't allowed to eat them. Of course, everybody want to eat a buzzard. Not me. I don't want to eat a buzzard. I just want to see if anyone would raise a hand. Okay. When I think of buzzards, I think of that cartoon I was a kid. Okay, there are certain things they weren't allowed to eat. Okay, they could eat cows and sheep and different animals, but there's a lot that the king might eat that they weren't allowed to eat. So when the food was set before them, Daniel said, "I can't eat that." Let's read what he said, verse 8. Because the food is set before Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And we're referring to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from this point on in the scriptures. But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with a portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Stop reading right there. You ever ask somebody for something just because you can't do what they ask you to do? Just because my principal will say I can't do that. You ask me to do something else. Okay? I have a friend who's a truck driver, and the company he worked for, a lot of their loads was hauling liquor, and he said I just can't haul it. If I know what's on the manifest, if I'm driving a truck, if I'm pick up a trailer here and drop the trailer off over there, that's fine. I don't care what's in it. But if I'm picking up a truck over here and someone tells me what's on it and it's something and it's liquor, I don't want to haul it. He'd pick up a load, and he told his bosses this, and they said, "Sure, we'll never send you on one of those jobs." He picked up a load in one state, drove 2 states away, and someone said, "You know what that is? You're supposed to pick over here at this place over here." And he said, "No, I don't want to. I don't know what it is." And it was all liquor. He said, he called his boss and said, "You told me I wouldn't have to run this run. I wouldn't have to pick this stuff up." He said, "I can't do it." And they said, "You'll lose your job." He said, "Okay, I'll leave the truck here, 2 states away. I'll leave the truck here, and I'll catch a Greyhound and come back home." And he's never missed jobs. I mean, he's never missed work since then. But he said, "I told you I couldn't do that." I know a lot of people wouldn't have any problem driving a truck and not caring what's in, with not being concerned at all what's in it, right? Right? I mean, Jared drives a truck. Would you be concerned if you knew what was in it? Would it make any difference? For me, okay. Some people say, "Well, I can be like saying, well, there's no difference." Scripturally speaking, pork is just as bad as the wine, right? For Daniel, I mean, if you're hauling bacon, well, I can't do that. Okay, I'll take that load. Okay, no, it's gone. Okay, but Daniel said, purpose in his heart, I can't do that. Okay, why? Because it's against the laws of God for the Jews. Their laws are different. The laws of God for the Jews were different. Dietary laws were different than us. Okay, we go through the book of Acts and tells us what the difference is. Okay, so are we allowed to eat pork? Are we allowed to? We're allowed to eat shellfish. Okay? Okay. Did you know in almost everything that God told the children of Israel they couldn't eat, there was something in that meat that would kill them or have potential to kill them? Like a lot of shellfish have certain things in them that will kill you. Okay? A lot of pork has ringworms if you don't cook it long enough. Can make you sick. And also all the animals that God told the Jews they couldn't eat mostly were animals of prey. Like this bird they could eat, because it was like a turkey or whatever. But this bird that ate other animals they couldn't eat. Okay, it makes sense, right? Anybody ever eat a rat? Charlie, you ever had one at the Chinese buffet? What's on those little sticks? You had no idea, right? Okay. There's certain things that Jews weren't allowed to do, but Daniel said, "I just can't do that." And my boss, years ago, my boss asked me to do something. David Lee, my boss at Lee Graphics, good guy, good Christian guy. He asked me to do something one day, and I said, I went to him afterwards. He asked me in a group meeting. He said, "This is what I want you to do." I waited till I didn't say anything in the meeting because I didn't want to have an argument, with people in the meeting because everybody else would do what I was being told to do. And I came back to him afterwards and I said, "I can't do that." And I said, he said, "Why?" I said, "I just can't." Okay, if you want me to explain it to you, I will, but I just cannot do what you asked me to do. He said, "Okay." And He had no problem. Okay. Daniel said, I can't defile myself. It's not stubbornness. It's just not just my opinion of what I want to do or what I can't do. He said, what I won't do. He said, there's more to it than just stubbornness. There's something that says in me that says I just cannot do that. Okay? Scripturally speaking, Daniel was correct. Okay. Let's look on down. Okay? We'll read a couple more verses. Verse 8. But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with a portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Now God, this is big right here. Now God had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. That means the guy that's over him says, come on, you got to do what we ask you to do. And Daniel says, I can't. Okay? So prove us. Let's do a test. Okay? Verse 11. Then said Daniel to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink, and let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat the portion of the king's meat. And as thou seest, deal with thy servants. So he consented to them in this matter and proved them in 10 days. And here's what he did. Daniel said, okay, you're saying we've got to eat this. This is what the king eats. That's fine. The king can eat that. But if you'll give us pulse, which is basically just vegetables, if you'll give us vegetables and water, and the guy that's over them says, look, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get you guys in trouble. You're supposed to eat this. Okay? And he said, and the man Melzar said, if you don't eat what is given you to eat, then you'll be sick. You'll look sickly in front of the king and all the leaders, and we want you to look healthy and strong, and we want you to do it. And Daniel said, give us vegetables. Give us vegetables and water, and we'll see. After 10 days, we'll see what happens. Okay? So after 10 days, they eating vegetables and drinking water, their complexion cleared up. They looked better than anybody else did. But John, does that really work? I don't know if I've never tried it. I've never tried to go and help me eat for 10 days. But it worked for them, okay? And then, matter of fact, anytime Scripture tells you to do something and you do it, it always works, okay? Whether it's budget, raising your family, whatever you do, okay? Prove thy servants, he said. Whenever you take a stand for doing something that's right, there's always going to be a test to see if you will continue to do what's right, okay? Now look down verse 17, because this is the final part of the test. As for these 4 children, that's Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. As for these 4 children, God gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom. And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. No one else could do this. At the end of the days that the king had said that he should bring them in, then the prince of the eunuchs brought them in before Nebuchadnezzar. And the king communed with them, and among them there was found none like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Therefore stood they before the king. In all matters of wisdom and understanding that the king inquired of them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and astrologers that were in all his realm. Really. Okay, look at this way. If in any area of life we find the principles of God that we're supposed to live by, biblical principles, I don't care if it's work, family, whatever it is, if you will live by the principles that are set forth in this book, and you say, well, the 10 Commandments are not suggestions. And it goes way beyond the 10 Commandments. It has to do with finances and everything else in your life. And you say, okay, if I live by this, God says, you will stand out. And just like he gave Daniel and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego 10 times more wisdom than anybody else. And everybody that tested them looked at him and said, why are these kids so smart? They weren't that smart. They just made good choices. Okay? And Charlie, as a teacher, you probably have one kid that might be the genius of the classroom, but is never going to excel. You may have somebody else that is not that good, not that smart, but puts into practice every principle he's ever been taught, knows how to study, does much better than the genius of the classroom. In every business, I'll say this in sales. In the last 27 years I've been in the company that I work for, we've had 10 different salespeople. Almost every one of them, the geniuses, don't do well. Okay? But everyone that obeys what the boss says to do and do it, they do really well. Right now, we have a young man working for us he's a good, say kid. He's not a kid. He's in his 20s. He's a fine young man. But the first year he was there, he wanted to do as a salesman. He wanted to do what he wanted to do. He didn't do so well. They kept him. I mean, he's still working. And it wasn't until recently that after about a year that they said, now if you'll do what we tell you to do, you'll do a whole lot better. Like you can get by doing your way, but if you'll do what we tell you to do, you'll do a whole lot better. Okay, and he is. It happens. It happens that way. Results like that happen almost every area of life. Find out the principles at work and living by those principles. So when the tests come, because everybody's tested. When we were in college, Brother Sally had the statement that he got jobs for guys, and every college student had a job for one-on-one. Everybody likes our product, but nobody likes the process that we had to go through. Everybody wanted our guys working in their businesses, but nobody liked the process, the restrictions or the boundaries that we live within. But the training and the discipline, and plus the purpose in your heart, like Daniel had, produced the product that everybody wanted. The rest of Daniel's story, the rest of the book of Daniel is not going to make it much. It's not going to be the same if he doesn't stand in the beginning of this. Everything else that he does, telling visions, and he's going to tell Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar's going to have dreams. He's going to interpret the dreams. He's going to interpret dreams the rest of his life, doing all kinds of stuff. He has all this wisdom. If he doesn't take this stand back here, nothing else is going to matter, because everyone's going to look back at him and say, "Well, he did what everyone else did." Okay. Here's next thing. This is the biggest part of the lesson. Okay. Look at verse 9. Now God had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. That doesn't have no bad connotations there. He was in favor. Anybody in this room, you ever feel like you're favored by your boss? You're the favorite kid? Nope. Anybody feel like you're the favorite kid by the teacher at school? Charlie? When you were in school? You're not now. Anybody feel like you're a favorite kid in the neighborhood? Yeah. Rough crowd. Okay, here's favor. When people give you, we use the word grace, means they give you more than what you deserve. Something better than what you deserve. Mercy means they don't, we talk about God's mercy and God's grace. Means God doesn't give us, mercy means he doesn't give us what you plead the mercy of the court. God doesn't give us the judgment we deserve. But grace is giving you so much more than you deserve. Okay? More than you deserve this, and God gives you a whole lot more. Okay? I don't know if I got this right. I know the principle is right. I don't know if I can say this the right way. I have felt my entire life, since I got saved, that people treated me better than I deserve to be treated. Everybody? No. There's the jerks that are out there that I've worked with or dealt with during the years. But I've always felt like people have been better to me than what I deserve. And I use these illustrations. I can use the same illustrations over and over. It didn't matter where I was working or what neighbors I had, because everyone's got good neighbors and bad neighbors, or what job it was, what church we were serving in. It didn't really matter. I always felt like God was blessing us and giving us more than what we deserved. Rob Sutton and I were having a conversation a couple of years ago, and we were working on my truck or something like that. And he told me, he said, I know who I am and what I was. And when he got saved, when he came here, and he said, everything I have is so much better than I ever could have dreamed. And people treated me, and God's been good to me, better than what I ever could have dreamed, ever could have imagined. Okay? And so, going by that, and a lot of people, maybe no one will say it publicly, but a lot of people have been favored. That people have been good to you. Some people never acknowledge it. Okay, let's get these two guys. Larry and Mo. Curly's not here today. Okay, Larry and Mo are pretty good guys. I want to give them a blessing. I give this one $100. I give this one $100. Larry's tickled to death because he's got the $100. Mose wondered why he didn't get 2. Okay? Mose spends the rest of his day upset because he thinks someone else got. He thinks Larry got 200. Okay? He didn't. He got the same thing you got. But he's tickled to death just for what he has. And he thinks people treat him well. And he's upset because he thinks he deserves better. Or someone should have treated him better. Think you ever work with somebody that always thinks they should have got a better deal? Right? Always got the deal. Everyone's out to get me. Okay? I know adults that I've known my entire life that have never got a good deal. Everyone's been against them. Okay? Their entire life. They did great jobs. Okay. There's a guy I went to high school with. He didn't study. He didn't learn. But he had a great personality. He was a nice guy. Okay? Through the years, first 20 years after college, and after high school, and I haven't seen him now probably close to 20 years. Every job he had, people treated him bad. It was somebody else's fault. He was always moving on to the next job. And even he had government jobs within the county or city, and everybody knew the job that he had was a great job. But it always came back to somebody didn't treat him right. Someone didn't treat him right. He always deserved better. Okay, and I don't know. I know he moved out of state probably 20 years ago. I have no idea where he's at now. But no matter where he is, I'm sure he's complaining about somebody not treating him right. Okay, because he always had that tendency, like that was not good. Okay, okay. When we went to college, Phil Sally was the one that got all the college boys jobs, and I went to him the first day I was there. It's his job to get us jobs, and I went to. So the first day I was there, I met him and told him what jobs I'd done, set tombstones, worked at grocery stores, all I'd done, deliver newspapers, and so he said just go look and I'll see what I come up with. So a couple of days later, I was standing in his doorway, and he was sitting. Some other guy was sitting in front of his desk and saying, and Brother Sally said, "Here's the job, go get it." And he said, and the guy made a comment like, "Well, I'm going to go talk to my wife about this." Most of the guys we went to school with were married. And he said, "I got to go talk to my wife about this." Phil Sally looked at the guy and he said, "The job's for you, son, it's not for your wife." He looked up at me and he said, "Jenkins, can you live off $4.50 an hour?" And I said, "It's more than I'm making right now," because I quit my job to move out there. And I could have had the same attitude that guy had and not got a job. Or I could have said I'm worth more than $4.50 an hour because I made $6.67 an hour when I was my last job. Like I said, I deserved more than that, but I didn't. So I went to the $4.50 an hour job. God met our every need. We had people send us money. We had people send us money while we were in college we never met. In my lifetime, I never met one person particularly. My aunt and uncle started sending us money, like $25 a month. One of their friends at church said, "Hey, I want in on that." And they started investing in me and things. They'd never met us. They were just going by my uncle's and talking about his nephew in Bible college. And I think a lot of that came from just God being good to us, people being good to us. We were at the Virginia Beach touring a battleship, and you go from floor to floor. It's kind of like it's a retired battleship. You go forward, you look at these signs, walk up, read these signs, and Rebecca was about 16 years old at the time, something like that. And we stepped up, me and Tammy and Rebecca, we stepped up, we started walking over to the sign, and it's an older guy, probably about my age now. The older guy sitting on a stool over by the next stairway, kind of leaning over. He said, "Don't worry about the signs. What do you want to know?" He said, "I served on this ship." Okay, he'd been a Navy SEAL for like 20-some years. I mean, besides being in the Navy and becoming a SEAL and all this stuff, so he started telling us stuff about the ship. He's telling us about him and things that he got to do, things that they can't tell you, but tell you, I kill you type thing. But things he couldn't tell us, but he just started telling us. And then he focused on Rebecca and talked to Rebecca about 15 minutes of being married for 40 years, and was talking to her about how good life is. I guess he was a Christian. I don't know. I didn't even ask him, but how good life can be. And I thought that's better education than anything she's going to get in school by listening to this guy, this Navy SEAL guy, the old man who gets the post. Um, that's just a small piece, but it seems like all my life looking back at it now, it seems like all my life I feel like I've been favored like Daniel. But John, you don't make any more money than anybody else. Nope. We had a vote one time, Marlon, about 10 years ago. You may remember this. We're having a vote on preacher getting a raise, and Alan may remember this too. We had just the men in for a business meeting, no ladies in this meeting, and my thinking was preacher's salary at the church should be the same, should be on average what every man in the church's salary would be. That was my thinking. If they wanted him to work full time, not paid. And so they had all the men in the church write down their annual income on a piece of paper, don't sign it. So we gathered them all up, went back and Dave Castle or somebody sat back in the office with me, and we added them all up and come up with an average of what the average man in that church made. And it was a whole lot more than I'd ever dreamed of making for the men in our church. But I felt like I was just blessed by being around those guys, the men that were here. Right? Y'all with me on this? I just felt like I didn't have any money, but everyone took care of me. And this was not a raise. I didn't get a raise out of this. We're getting preacher a raise out of this thing, preacher day. But the truth is, I just felt like I was just after being around these guys and thinking about this process, I just felt like I was blessed just by being around these people. But I don't get that. I don't feel blessed by other people. Then it comes back to the guy that got the $100 and was happy with it, and the guy that got the $100 was probably missing out on something. And how you look at it. Because Daniel we look at who Daniel was, born in Jerusalem, he's of the tribe of Judah, may have been a descendant of David, or doesn't say for sure because it took some of the princes and different ones, doesn't give his genealogy in this chapter. He may have been almost like a prince in Jerusalem until Jerusalem fell. Now he's carried away into captivity. He's not complaining other than the fact that I can't eat that meat that you give me. I'll eat vegetables. Just give me vegetables and water. I'll be happy with that rather than eating. You want me to eat the lobster? I can't eat it. You want me to eat pork? I'm sorry for that, but I can't eat pork. You want me to do that? That's one thing I can't do. But I'm happy to be here to serve in any capacity. Okay? Daniel served the rest of his life. I think he came back to this attitude because he found favor. God gave him favor in people's eyes. And the people that are around him, God gave him that favor. Okay? Daniel continued, last verse, chapter 1, verse 21. And Daniel continued even in the first year of King Cyrus. That means after the king Nebuchadnezzar is gone and the next king's gone, Cyrus, king of Persia, is the king later, and Daniel's still serving him. Okay? And we're going to go through more of the book of Daniel in the next few weeks, but now it comes back to this. You're favored. Are you favored by other people? Hey, Brother John, I got a target on my back. Chip off your shoulder usually removes the target off your back. Okay? Most often. Right, Marlon? I don't know if you agree with that one, Brother John. I feel favored. You should. Okay? If you're a child of God, you're fearfully and wonderfully made, there's all kinds of scriptures for this that you can go back and say, I'm walking in sunlight. Everything I deserve hell, and everything I get much better than what I deserve. Is that a true statement? Right? Do we deserve hell? So anything that happens in our life is better than what we deserve. Brother John, what about Annette and Gary with her having surgery? Is that better than what we deserve? It's better than hell, right? That's what we really deserve. And she got to have the surgery that she needed, right? What about Bruce and Patty going through all these treatments and all this sickness? And nobody wants to go through that sickness, right? No one wants to go through those. Really, most people don't want to go through those treatments. But if you ask them, they really feel blessed. Okay? They feel talking to them, talking to Patty, especially because she talks more than Bruce does. She really feels blessed by the people in this church, by the people she's been around here for the last 5 years, 6 years, longer than that, about 7 years. They really feel blessed. Okay, I do too. Okay, any questions, comments? I don't think I'm off. Kyle? Vicky? Okay. Right. Kids are made it work. He was this guy to begin with. Right. And Bruce and Patty were this guy to begin with. Glad to get it. Bruce wants to go back to work. He would, if I got this right, he went back Monday to take his CDL license test again. He wants, right? He wants to. Huh? Right. No matter what you give them, they're not happy. Right. Good thought. Anybody else? Comments? Charlie, you got both these kids in your class, don't you? You got more of these than these? Or more of these, the complainers, than you do the kids that are just happy to be there? All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. Can anybody in this room give me an illustration of somebody that's just really outdone themselves being good to you? Either your church family or somebody else. That somebody just been overboard good to you. Just like Daniel, in the long run, I mean, he knows he's blessed by God by doing this. But in the long run, he said, that guy really cares about me. That's why it's happening. God allowed that guy to show love towards me, to go to bat for me in order for me to just eat what I could eat, not eat what the king was eating. Anybody else had that illustration in your personal life? You said people been good to you? All my life. You okay, Cal? Your mom? Okay. Okay. Preacher Dave's, I look at the chair every time I say Preacher Dave. Shouldn't do that. Preacher Dave's stepdad. Dave's dad that died when Dave was about 11 years old. He was killed by a drunk driver. His mom was married. His stepdad was named Golden. Some of you remember Golden. Maybe no one in this room ever met him, I guess. Looking back, maybe no one ever knew him. He called me one day. He had a 72 Ford pickup truck. He worked a car by it. He's retired. And he said, Johnny, come up to the house. I went up to his house. And he said, you want to buy my truck? And somebody that worked it offered him $1,000 for it. He just had it painted. It was pretty nice. 3-speed on the column. It didn't go real fast, but it was running. Yeah, I liked it. We still have pictures. I like the truck. Okay, 2-tone green. He said, you want to buy my truck? He knew I was wanting one. I said, sure. Golden, how much you want for it? He said, how much you got? I said, I don't know. I got $200. Someone had already offered him a work and had offered him $1,000 for it. He said, would you give me $600 for it? And I said, I don't have it. I got $200. He said, give me $200. I'll sign the paper and you pay me as you get it. Okay? Okay. Anybody else have a deal like that? People just get to you like that? Okay. I still owe him. No, I didn't pay him. He just paid when you get it. Okay? We've had family members. Okay, Jared and Rebecca were getting married. They had something on there. What's that? The wish list stuff that engaged couples get, right? I mean, they sign up. This stuff at Kohl's and this stuff's here. This stuff the wish list thing. Yeah. And they had a laptop or something like that. Was it? Yeah. The wives, the guys. It's a wish list. And they said, we want this, okay? And one of the family members called and said, you really want that one? This other one's nicer, right, Jared? It's $200 more. We'll give you this one. Get you this one. Okay. Right then argue. But, oh, no, we can't take that one. Okay. When I look at that, we're talking, you can't focus on that stuff all the time, can you? No, because I work a lot of times with these people, but I want to be this person all the time, right? I want to be the grateful person all the time, if I can be. So I got to look at the gift of the computer, or the gift of the truck, or the good deal on the truck, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I've got to look at the Navy SEAL talking to Rebecca. I've got to look at all these things. I keep that in my focus all the time. I've mentioned this before. One of my cousins died this past week. Jay Gary. He was a Marine. He was just a good guy, IT guy at the bank. He just smart guy, good guy, just a good guy. Being around certain people, I always felt like they were really, really good to me, whether I deserved it or not. Family members, friends, neighbors. Well, my next door neighbor when I was a kid was Jim, John, Joe, Mike, and Steve, 5 brothers and 1 sister. But the sister no got along with any of the guys, so she was never really around. And so we're at the, I can't remember, was it Steve got married or when her mom died or something, we're at a restaurant. And they act like I'm one of the brothers. Okay, there's no, they just include me in on everything, right? Next door neighbors when we were kids. Why? I just felt like people included me in. I didn't feel that way before I got saved, but I felt that way ever since I got saved. Okay, Tammy and I were 17 when we got saved, and there were people in our church that were 70 years old became good friends of mine. They're like grandparents' age, yeah, like grandparents' age. For a 17-year-old kid that didn't know anything, and a Sunday school teacher who's probably in his 40s and an elderly man in the church in his 70s. I'm going to say elderly, 70s elderly because people were hitting that age. But they just included me in. Y'all get that? That made me always want to look at life from this side over here rather than somebody owns me. Or someone trying to beat me out of something. Okay? All right. More comments, questions? Okay. Charlie dismisses. We won't sing again. We won't bother you with the singing part. Thanks for coming out tonight. I talked to him yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, it was yesterday. I called Dave yesterday, and he's getting out like to go up to the farm to feed his horses and stuff. But other than that,